Sounds the same.
How do the next pages? What? What's so funny? What's so funny, Dad? Hearts at the back with you.
We're the back.
The back. What do you got? What are we listening to today?
Storytone.
Storytone, his second album in 2014.
Yep.
Once again, he's busy that year.
Yep.
This is almost the exact opposite of A Letter Home.
Yep.
A Letter Home was recorded in a lo-fi phone booth, or as they called it, a vinyl graph machine or whatever it was.
Yep.
This is recorded with a huge orchestra
Yes,
on a
and it
sound
sounds
stage.
like he is in a Disney movie.
It does. He says in the description that he was sort of inspired by the Wizard of Oz
Do the voice.
soundtrack, and he wanted to work on this MGM
Why not?
soundstage. And he had a whole bunch of new songs, but he wanted it to all be with one mic, so it sounded live. But interestingly enough, hearing Storytone, it sounds like it's Neil Young in a completely different place. And the orchestra is
It did. It sounded
almost spliced in or something.
I was thinking, with all this distance learning, sometimes you'll have a meeting open and a different one, and you can't tell where the sound is coming from. It almost seemed like you had two different tabs on your computer open, and one was playing a Disney soundtrack, and the other one was playing a weird, crappy demo, him singing in his closet.
Well, that's the thing.
It was so strange.
It sounded like he was literally asleep in bed, or he just woke up. And I want to drive my car. Is it?
It's called I Want to Drive My Car, and he's like, I want to drive.
It feels like he just woke up from a nap.
I want to drive my car. I want to drive my car.
Yeah, he's like,
Someone's like, here you go, Neil. Here's a.
How long is it? How long is it?
Here's a microphone. Just start singing. I want to drive my car.
How long does I want to drive my car?
3:08.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that. It felt long.
And
I
then
did not like it.
Was it the same Blue Note people behind it, or was it different? I'm sorry, This Note's for You, whatever that band was called.
I forget. I think it's
Blue
Nico
Notes.
Bolas again and Al Schmidt. I think they were behind that album. So it's mostly really.
Drive my
Neil Young hasn't had good luck with orchestras, I don't think, and
Nope.
sort of string arrangements. And
No.
this is way overblown.
I do not like any. I think there was 2 or 3 songs that I was okay with.
Yeah, I think it's 3 songs that are sort of in the Blue Note sort of format, with a jump blues, sort of old, a old rock and roll style with lots of horns, and then the rest of it are these very schmaltzy, ballady,
Schmaltzy is a good word for it.
It does not match. He wanted something very spontaneous and sort of where you hear the room, whatever. It doesn't sound like that.
Yes, but then we have Storytone.
Well, hold on. We're going to get to that. So this was inspired. I guess he got divorced from his wife, Peggy Young, of 30-something years. And I guess this is when he met Daryl Hannah.
Yep.
Was that part of the Hollywood piece of it? Was it because she's an actress and so he wanted to go to a Hollywood soundstage? Or is that too on the nose?
I think he just said he was sort of inspired by the old soundtracks and the big productions of the Wizard of Oz, and somehow he got the idea that his songs would work with that.
That's a bad idea.
What
Then it
was?
says what I just said. But then it says, according to Wikipedia, that the material of the songs were actually inspired by his burgeoning romance with Daryl Hannah. Mm-hmm. And it said he was quoted as saying, "These songs were written during a period of profound change in my life. Everything I want to share is there."
Hey, good for him. I'm glad he fell in love.
Yeah.
Again.
Storytone, I tried to listen to it years ago when it came out, 2014, and I couldn't get through it.
How about now?
Well, I didn't like it. But he's trying stuff. He's trying...
Applaud.
He's pushing
I
it.
applaud that. We'll talk about it in the Shakies. I also, it's good that he's trying stuff, but that I definitely was a swing and a miss. Or maybe he just shouldn't have been swung at.
Yeah. The big critic, Robert Kreisgau, said that he thinks it might have aged well, or it will age well, or it might be underrated.
Really?
I don't know about that. Here's what I'll say. So now let's talk about... So the deluxe... This Storytone was the proper release.
Yep.
The deluxe edition included all of his demos, which
And
were,
then
again...
mixed pages.
Hold on. Which were recorded first, just like Living with War. The very first things he did, which is just him and his electric guitar.
In the beginning, yeah.
And this, I thought, was okay, this is how I'd like to hear this.
Yeah, you liked the demos, yeah.
Well, there's there's still problems with the actual songs. Like some of the songs and the lyrics are just not well developed. But like that I Don't Want to Drive My Car song, it worked with him. It's the same vocal take where he sounds like he's asleep.
Yep.
But it works well with it. It's just like a distorted blues guitar, just that. And that sounded good to me.
I wanna drive my car further and further on down the road.
And then a few of the other songs had a similar thing. Say Hello to Chicago, which was sort of like a big arrangement. That sounded good. Oh, and Who's Gonna Stand Up was sort of like the signature track from this, which was all about who's going to stand up and save the earth.
Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? Who's gonna say that she's had?
The deluxe edition with the solo was Storytone was way better than the orchestrated schmaltziness.
Yeah, but then there's also they need to be on their mixed pages of Storytone.
Okay, so just like Living with War again, he did Living with War in the beginning. Well, that would really correlate to the demos. So he released a third version of this album.
Too many versions.
Called The Mixed Pages of Storytones, which I didn't even get past the second song because all he did there was he basically took the demos and just did less orchestra. It's sort of that they say it's a combination of the two, which is just kind of like, Neil.
So too much Storytone.
Well, this is where whoever who's producing him has got to be like, let's just do one version of this thing, or maybe leave it with the heavy blown orchestra and the demos, and that's it. It sort of muddies the waters. It sort of makes the project a lot more confusing to people, and it sort of makes you just throw your hands and be like, let me just go listen to Harvest already. Which is kind of what I did, not necessarily with Harvest, but I was like, I can't deal with the Storytone. Why don't I just go back to listening to the classic stuff?
Yeah, but maybe we did that, maybe we didn't.
What's that?
Well, one of the days we were listening to this bad one, and we switched back to Hitchhiker.
Oh, yeah, I think Daddy was just saying, like, he makes him feel like, I don't need to bother with this. I'm going to listen to what I like.
How much of Neil Young's catalog is worth coming back to repeatedly? Like 75%. I mean, a lot of it.
That's a large number.
Maybe I don't know if that's right.
I think
the 80s are.
I think you're shooting a little high there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm giving this.
Well, hold on. Are you ready to do shakies?
Yeah, he's giving us some shakies.
Well, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Before we started this project.
That's like you're stealing his bit.
I am stealing your bit.
Yeah, but what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, before this project, I would have said it's all about Neil Young in the late 60s and 70s, but I found out that's not necessarily true.
Agreed. All right, Siley, what do you think?
I give this one shaky.
One shaky? That might be the lowest one you've given. Oh my goodness.
I was going to give it 3 shakies. It's not good, but I applaud him pushing the envelope, and I sort of like the idea of him trying to pair up with an orchestra, and I liked his like half asleep, phoned in sort of vocal style. It makes me kind of chuckle. Gets a 3. If I'm grading just the demos, I'll give that a 6 because I thought the songs on this album aren't great, but that's the way I would prefer to hear them.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 2, only because it was funny.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd.
It made me laugh, so I'll give it points just for making me laugh.
Right. I don't know if that was his intention.
No, it wasn't his intention, but I got some enjoyment out of it just from its pure absurdity. And I think the albums that I gave a 0 to were ones that I found to be, like,
offensive.
Legitimately offensive. Yes. Like,
this is not offensive?
Sonically offensive. This is dumb and weird. It didn't make me upset.
Yeah,
Let's say that.
No, there was sort of like a humorous thing about it. Like, really, Neil?
Some of them made me upset.
Again, he pushed the envelope, and you got to applaud him for that.
Yeah.
I just gave it 1 shake. I did not like this at all.
No,
all right. Okay. So what's next, Silas? What's up?
What next is we're getting into the Promise of the Real.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Promise of the Real. I know nothing about any of these.
These are the Willie Nelson band
You've
kids.
never heard them.
Funky.
I've never heard them. Yeah, that's called the Monsanto years.
Yes, the Monsanto years.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. All right,
Monsanto,
let's see.
thumbs down.
Oh, that's the biggest thumbs down.
Neil's way against. He's a big farmers guy, advocate. So he's way.
Yeah,
against.
Monsanto's the devil. All right, looking forward to this album.
The thumbnail that you saw for this video was designed by me.
That's right. Silas made this in Canva.
Good job on that.
Got some distance learning action going on. All right. See you next time.